I remember a friend asking me one time what was the day like of my life, and it got me to thinking about what that looks like. I drive to my studio. It's several minutes from my home. When I arrive at my studio, I will change my clothes. I keep clothes there that I change into when I'm painting. I have a little outfit that I love that has paint all over it from head to toe. And I have candles there, and I have different icons, collectible things that I really like that are sort of inspirational visual things for me. And then I go and sit in my chair that's across from my easel and begin by sitting there and just look at what I am working on that's on the easel, and decide if what this piece needs to say. Is it saying what I want it to say? How visually can I get the energy in this piece that I'm working on to be there? And so it's a dialogue that sort of takes place with myself and the piece of art that's sitting on the easel. Things that inspire me in my artwork are things that I see in nature, things that I see in my dreams. I have very visual dreams that are all about artwork, and artwork that just kind of morphs into other artwork or other art, very visualized things. And even in my meditation, I get a lot of images that come to me through my meditation, and so that's very inspirational to me. In this body of work, I'm interested in expressing visually the invisible, or the energies that are the essence of universal truth. I use energetic marks, layers for depth, color, organic shapes to portray the complexity of transformational energy. To me, this is what moves us forward in the human experience of oneness. The multiple layers that I use create a sense of history or something that has been around for centuries. I use a lot of white in my work, which is an absence of color, and I use the white to exemplify cleansing or purity within an energetic form. I like to make a correlation between the swirling orange pinwheel shapes to the chakras where one's intuitive nature thrives. This body of work that I'm working on right now, I really enjoy the process of the cutting and the tape and the peeling away and the building and the layers of the tape, or the layers of the paint. I ask myself quite often when I'm sitting across from my easel looking back to a painting that I'm working on, I ask myself this question: does it have the energy in it that I want? Does it have the balance? Does it have the texture? These are things that I really like in my painting, so there's multiple layers in my work. So I'm building a background layer first and then building forward, and then quite often I'll actually get out my little sander. I have a power sander, and I'll sand back into that surface and then go back into what is like some of my first layers that I've put there to bring them to the forefront, because they may get covered up with paint, but then once I sand them I can go back into them too. So I'm building multiple layers in my work. This process, or this technique that I'm working on, is something that I really enjoy doing, and I will begin by creating a background on the surface of the boards that I'm working on, and then I will cover that surface once it's dry with tape, and it's completely, or almost always completely covered in tape, and I'll take that taped board and I'll apply it up to the wall, and then I use an overhead projector to project the image up onto that piece of art that I'm working on. And then I'll trace that with a marker, have it positioned, where I want it to be, and then I'll come back in and I'll cut away the excess of the tape and then peel off certain areas, and then that creates a little reservoir of where the paint will go into. And then this is another part of the technique that I really like, is filling that reservoir with paint and then using the squeegee to swirl it around. And that process is not something you can really know exactly what it's going to look like, because you're creating, that's the part of the beauty of it, because sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you're planning it to, but you get this beautiful swirling and value in colors. And sometimes it's working that piece several times to get multiple layers and multiple colors in there. But the process is always a little bit of a magic, I think, that I call it. happens or takes place in the studios, because it gives you just this unexpected sort of visual. And then I have to immediately start to peel that tape away, otherwise it dries way too fast and it starts pulling your paint off. I really enjoy the technical process of these paintings. Essentially, my paintings are about expressing visually an inner journey that is really invisible, yet magical. This is my discovery of my true nature, and that within spirit I find very delightful.